So we'll see if the OBS actually stays active this time around. Second part of this, it's just a test. I don't know if I'm going to do this all the time here anyway. But I do 12-hour shifts, mainly working by myself, and that's kind of what's going on. The Lord of the Ring things, I've been keeping up to date with it, watching some of the things. I probably will still get a collector booster box at some point, but it's going to be a little bit later down the road. What I am finding now, and if you are wanting to buy some of these things like a little bit, I personally want some of the foils. So I'll take the the book map art, but I want a lot of the foil lands that are just basic lands that come with the gift bundle. And what I found is if you go online, you go to Walmart or Amazon, something like that, it's like $200, $300 for a gift bundle box. However, don't quote me on this for your area, but for my area at least, there's a Target, and you can pre-order these for $80 still on there. But Walmart's have already increased to like $200, all that stuff. So, welcome to try whatever you want there. But basically, I could spend $500 on a booster box to get 15 packs and a box topper, or I could spend $80, so you're looking at $160 for 2 boxes, so $320 for 4 boxes, and then you're looking at $400 to $500 for 6 boxes basically, which will give you 60 foil basic lands, 60 lands, and then you'll have 24, or hold up, you'd have 6 boxes, 8 booster packs, so you'd have 64 booster packs in those boxes, and then you would have 6 collector's booster packs for an additional, which that's basically about half a box of a collector booster box. They have like 15, something like that. So we'll be getting 6. So about half, plus the additional boxes, plus the additional dice, which I want, plus the, I think it was life dials or something else in there too. But also we would get 6 copies of the One Ring card guaranteed with that foil artwork, which I want 1 of each for the actual decks. So the elf deck, the human deck, the fellowship deck, or however many decks we end up making in the end. I want multiple copies of the ring, so 6 will be good. So I can at least have 6 decks 3v3 for my Lord of the Ring fights, as well as have potentially more rings that I could purchase later to put over. But also purchasing these at an $80 price tag. The ring is selling, like the basic ring is selling for like $30-$40 right now. And then one of those booster packs is already selling for like $40-$50 right now. So just with those 2 items guaranteed in that bundle, I'm basically getting more money value than I would any other way. And then I'm going to be getting those 64 booster packs, basic booster packs, which could potentially give me foils as well as other unique cards that I can put into my deck. I am buying 1 starter deck, which has the humans and Sauron 60 card decks. I'm getting 2 of those, or 1 of those. I'm getting 2 human commander decks, 2 Sauron commander decks, 1 elf commander deck, and 1 hobbit commander deck. So we're going to have 6 commander decks, which will give us 6 life counters. Also, we would have 6 collector sample packs in there, which could have whatever in there. Hopefully some Nazguls is what I'm looking for. And then we'll have 6 commander booster packs, and those will be coming in 2 weeks, so I have a little bit of time before they get here. The commander packs and the starter pack should all be coming right now, actually, so they just released today. I was looking at the collector booster packs. I almost bought one yesterday. What I did find out is that if you go online and you're going to purchase one of those, they're $400, $500 right now, but before, if you went to TCG Player, there was some people selling them for about $300 something, which would have been a good deal. And I almost bought one of those, but I would have had to have called my bank and all that stuff because I had bought the gift bundles right before that. So I would have to increase my card limit and stuff to do all that. So I don't know if it's worth it or not. From this morning, it looks like they've went up to about 420. They're still a little bit lower than what you get on like Amazon or Walmart, because they're getting pushed up towards the 500 mark. But it seems like a pretty decent way to do the game if you wanted to do it. The bonus to this also, starter deck means that I'm going to be able to play some, 60 card standard play against someone else in my local Magic area if I want to, that's starting into Magic, or some friends that I could potentially get interested into the game. The 6 commander decks means that I could have 4 of the base commander decks, keep them the same to play with friends or whatever for a while, and then I can take apart 1 human deck and 1 Sauron deck to make 4 different focused decks is the plan. And then we will come back later. I'm going to get a collector booster probably at some point, and then I'm going to personally try to collect every artwork, at least the foil, make every foil artwork potentially, and put it all in one binder and stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing afterwards probably for a while. So I don't mind buying at least 1 collector booster box, just to try and get some, foils or one of the elven rings or human rings or whatever, because I know each of those rings are going for like $400, $600 a piece, and I would like to at least have probably one elven ring, 1 dwarven ring, and then I would probably take 3 human rings. So I'd have a human ring for the human. I don't know. I would say 1 human ring for a human deck, but I think in the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff, I'm assuming all the people that had the rings were turned into Nazguls, so maybe 2 human rings, and I'd give them to Mordor and the Witch King. My starting off, I'm going to keep the decks the same, the way they are for the most part. I don't know the book lore with the hobbits and who they fought, so I have to look up that and some of the other characters, but I'm going to have basically Lord Sauron as his own deck, multicolored, and then I will have Sauron, Lord of the Rings, as one of the 99 in that deck as a secondary commander. Then I will have a blue-black Lord of the Nazgul commander with the Witch King as a 99 underneath in that deck, as well as Necromancer Sauron will be in that deck as a 99. Then we'd have the 9 Nazgul and the Wraith Riders. So you're already looking at, like 14, 15 cards that are all focused around that Wraith and the King right there. The reason why we're doing the blue-black is going to be, we want access to the Orc Generation cards from the blue section, I think is how this is going to go. It's going to be a primary black deck, but we want access to the blue. Then we're going to have Lord Sauron, I believe was the card, multicolored. It's going to be generating orcs for each person that casts a spell each turn, which is already going to be big enough. And then the Sauron Lord of the Rings is going to be one of the 99, because once it's summoned and it has a higher mana value cost, it mills cards and produces a Orc Mass 5. So it's just going to be a secondary commander that you can pop down. Then Sauron, we will end up making its own deck. I think mono blue, or we could do the multicolored. Not sure. And then later on, we will probably try to separate goblins from all of those decks, just to have their own thing. But if we're trying to stay inside of the Lord of the Rings package, I'm going to use the Balrog probably as a commander for the goblins, just because and the Mines of Moria. I need to rewatch the films because it's been a while, but I can't remember if the Mines of Moria. I swear it was goblins, but maybe it was orcs. But in my head, I'm thinking it was the goblins, the cave troll, and the Balrog, all in the Mines of Moria. Which means that if I ever want to separate into a dwarf deck, then I would have dwarfs versus goblins. Potentially, I would do elves versus Mordor, but I'm not sure. I want to do elves versus like forest creatures because the elves didn't really take a major role in the movies. They defended their forest for the most part. They kind of stay out of it. But the elves versus Mordor seems like the primary fight that they would have, which is why if I do a Mordor deck, I'm probably going to do elves or I'll do forest creatures, orcs, Easterlings, and all that stuff underneath Sauron's main force. And they could go against the elves, primary, I suppose. But the Witch King is going to be going against Gondor. And then I'm going to have a Fellowship deck, which is going to probably have Aragorn Uniter as the commander. Then I would have Legolas kill count, Gimli kill count, Aragorn of the Aragorn Pathfinder guy, the leader of the group or whatever, is going to probably be in there. I would have Elrond probably in there, Gandalf in there. Then I would have the Rohirrim and the Ents. So basically, it's going to be an Aragorn deck with the Fellowship. Boromir would be in there. Frodo and Sam. So we're going to have a bulk of them just being the Fellowship characters, and then we will have the Ents, Treebeard in there, all of the Ents, and then we will have the Rohirrim people in there, which will give him a multicolored deck. So that would be the Fellowship deck, and then the other multicolored deck would be, and basically what that would be is that the Fellowship deck would go against Isengard, because Isengard tries to destroy Rohan. And in the movies, the Fellowship characters, progress and then help the Rohirrim, and then the Rohirrim help Gondor. And the game mode's going to be basically at that point 4v4, with the dwarfs and the goblins just trying to be their own thing. But at the base launch of the game, I'm not going to have a dwarf or a goblin deck, so it's just going to be those three versus each other. And I think it's going to be fine. So we're going to do basically 1v1s across the board, but as soon as you beat your opponent, you get access to the other opponents. And it's going to be kind of my game plan for this deck. And then all of my extra cards that I get, because I plan on collecting all the different arts, I'm going to stick into binders or whatever, and then we'll have basically handmade draft packs to do some random deck building. Because where I play cards, they usually start at 6. So if we go there early, and it's been a while since I've been, but if we go there early, people that get there early, like an hour early or whatever, we can go and kind of take turns picking cards out and build your own decks. I'll probably keep like 2 of each copy of card or something in there in case there's like Sauron or the Witch King or whatever that both want to use a blue type card. I think 2 or 3 copies of each card would be pretty good. But this also means that with the gift bundles, we're going to be able to get 6 of the 1 rings guaranteed. So I could potentially have 1 ring for each of the 6 decks, which is good. You also have the golems and everything else. But I was just going to say, if you wanted to get the gift bundles, I wouldn't go off Walmart or Amazon, any of those right now, because it's like $200, probably the lowest that I've seen on there. But if you go to like local stores and shops, or let's look at Target, they're selling for like $80, which I think is a good deal, because you get all your money value just buying it right there, flat out the box, and then you get all those extra cards. So in my case, I'm going to have the commander decks, the starter decks, and then I'll have those gift bundles with 64 booster packs which is going to give me all of the extra cards that I probably want to build and alter my own commander decks for like a Gundor deck or whatever. And then we will get 6 of the collector booster packs, which will give me the potential of getting, you know, a good important card, as well as some cool art or some foils, which is all good, as well as 6 dice, which I really need because I only have like 6 dice to my whole deal with Magic. I needed to get dice for a long time, but I always put it off and I never go get dice. So 6 more dice that are extra large for my extra large hands would be nice. And I think all that would be good. Plus potential card art. Then I want to get a 6-player table mat, probably, with the map of Lord of the Rings on it. Would be the next thing to do. Because they didn't do some stuff that I really wish they would have did with the Lord of the Rings set. I know no one's complained so far about Lord of the Rings, but there's a few cards that personally I don't understand why they're like black cards. They have the card that in the movie, like, Sam protects Frodo and it's black for some reason. I guess because Sam killed somebody. You know, just random stuff like that. Also, like, I really wish Gollum had a gray, like, colorless card that would let you put him in any deck, because he kind of, you know, wish-walky flips around. I wish he would have had, like, an ability that let him give himself to different players. Like, whoever had the ring, he would, like, follow them or something and try and take it at some point. Like, say that if someone had the ring and Gollum was on the field, he would join their side of the field, but as soon as you killed that target, he would take the ring and, like, run back over to your side or something. I think that'd be good. Or a Gollum Smeagol partner commander, because you know how, like, Gollum, he'll be like Smeagol and then he'll take over and be Gollum, so you could have like a passive Smeagol commander with like a low mana cost or something, and then a more expensive Gollum card that's like an assassin. I think that would have been pretty cool. And then, like, mechanic-wise, I really wish they would have, like, implemented the map more. Especially with, like, how they have the lands with the map on it. Like, if there was, like, a mechanic in game that was, like, roll a dice and you get to, like, move your characters around the map, and wherever you're at is, like, a battlefield or, like, some special effect for you. Like, if you're in the Shire, each turn you get like +2 health or something, and then like if you're in like Mordor, like your attacks do poison counters or like something crazy, you know, that would just have your characters moving across the board would be really cool. But that's just it. Now, the laptop is getting hot again, so I don't really know if this thing can actually stream or not. So I'm going to turn off the stream before this thing overheats, and we'll see. As for the collector box, I'll either get one this week or I'll get one next week, probably. I'm just kind of seeing, you know, what happens. Maybe the price will go down a little bit, maybe it'll go up. But I also want to check some of the stores in my local area because I haven't got to. There's a lot of Magic card players around here that would probably go and buy it beforehand, but if I can go around and just find one cheaper at a local GameStop, I'll just buy some from there. But yeah, y'all guys have a good one.